Been a little problem in the cockpit.
The cockpit? What is it?
Welcome to the Project Study Space. It's Jang again. What? Every week na lang. Kidding. Welcome to the Gold Diggers. This is your mental health minute tip in cooperation with me. Just kidding. With Project Study. Your mental health minute is about emotional literacy. Let's start. I love this phrase. Emotional literacy means exactly that. Literacy actually is you can read literature, diba? And there are many, many types of literacy. You can be scientifically literate, sports literate, your Game of Thrones literate, your Star Wars literate. But a lot of us, even if we are sharp, literally sharp in other literacies, parang with our emotions, sometimes we're lost. We don't have the right word. We don't have a wide articulation or glossary of terms. So, part of my goal tonight is to expand your emotional literacy a little bit. Let's start with these three words: emotions, feelings, moods. I know when you read the three words, you think they're interchangeable and they mean the same, or maybe you're a little more evolved than that, and no, no, no. Of course, I know they're different. So let's make the distinction tonight. Emotions. This is actually the instant reaction, chemicals released upon seeing a stimulus. For example, I see a tiger and it roars right in front of me, and I'm not in the zoo. I'm actually along Santolan Corner, EDSA. Naturally, my brain will release cortisol so I can scream really loud to ask for help, and adrenaline so I can run really fast and avoid the tiger. So it's a combination of chemicals, and it happens no, not almost, it happens instantaneously. Your brain can identify danger, and it can identify a trigger, and emotions is the chemical release, your instant reaction. Feelings would be, ito na, your emotions happen, and on the second, your feelings will demand for a word. So it will eat, and by the way, it's not as simple as, my goodness, I'm afraid. No, it's never that clear. Sometimes your word will be yikes, or oh shit, or oh no, right? So that it already, you give the emotion a perception, your perception. So you label it. During this time is actually when the physical sensation happens. And if your stimulus response to nervousness is you get clammy hands, cold sweat on your nape, or dry mouth, usually that this is when it happens, the minute you label it. And you know what? Most of the time, it depends on the word you choose to label it that makes it worse or better. So you're going to have to find out and watch out for the words that you choose the minute you feel what you're feeling. And moods. I love this. Because you know how there are terms like mood music, chillax mood, in the mood. There's so many songs about mood. And I'll tell you what mood is. Mood is an integration of almost everything that you are feeling internally, like your emotions, the label you gave it, the feeling and the word that you gave it. If it's fear, if it's nervousness, if it's anxiety, if it's uncertainty, you labeled it na, and combined with the weather. Did you eat this morning? Did you sleep well last night? And this is a combination of behaviors that semi persist. So sometimes it can last a month, a week, or days. So this is a combination of your mental, physical, and emotional state. Very, very different from emotions and feelings. It's a combination of those two plus plus. So let's review. Emotions would be the city that you're in. It's the immediate location. It's the immediate response to the stimulus. Feelings is the country, so it's a little wider than the city. It encompasses the city, but this is when you actually label it, and maybe this is the time physiological sensation comes in. Nanginginig yung kamay mo, malamig yung pawis sa leeg mo, or nagda-dry mouth ka, or you freeze. That's probably one. Mood is the overall encompassing combination, integration of all these things. So it's like the continent. To be clear, I'll give you an example. Last March, and it's going to be, the anniversary is coming actually. Last March, I received, March 10, 2020, I received an SMS from a friend saying, "Hi, gang, remember we had dinner 2 days ago? I tested positive for COVID last night." My first emotion is a chemical transmission that no, gave me adrenaline in my brain. And the first word I chose was shit. And then yikes. What do I do? That's the feeling. I labeled it now, my perception. So that's the country I was in. And my active response, the overall response, by the way, it lasted for about 14 to 17 days. My overall mood was anxious. Actually, that would be the word I use. But I wanted to believe, and I fed my brain by saying, I am not all anxious. I am cautious, alert, and I want to be more informed. So it was the continent feeling. So my city feeling, the smaller, was, and my country feeling was, oh my gosh, I'm anxious. I don't know what to do. I'm uncertain. And my active response, which is the overall pervasive combination of behavior, decisions, internal and external factors, would be I want to stay alert, I will stay informed, and I want to know more about COVID-19. So that's exactly how things go. So that's the difference between the three. Which brings us to our mental health minute. This tip, okay, I'm going to give you like 2 seconds. Get a piece of paper and a pen. If you don't have one, open your phone. I'm quite sure you have it with you. Ah, you're probably watching this on your phone. Pick it up. Identify a stimulus from today or the past 3 days, whether it's an event, a message, an email. Just write it down. Let's say email from boss. And then plot and write down your instant reaction. Did you gasp? Did you smile? Did you, what was it? Just describe it. And then choose a word for your feeling. Are you afraid, excited? Just describe it. Looking forward, dread. Are you dreading? And then you label the season you're in. And hopefully the season that you're in will address the dread and the initial reaction. So the season would be fight, or I'm going to have a more courageous season. That's my mood. So you can choose it. You can label my mood this month is courage. You can do that. That's your mental health mini tip. Identify a stimulus, choose your emotion on it, label the feeling, and then give yourself a good season by labeling a mood. Because you know what? Once you plot exactly where you are, your city, your country, your emotional continent where you are, then you know exactly where to go next. See, you never know where to go next if you don't know where you are. So that's your mental health minute tip this week. Have a nice week.